growing through adversity. Isn't it sometimes easier to just be in denial that everything is just all hunky-dory? And truly it is, but it's not if we do a spiritual bypass of what's going on in life.
Oh,
And-
yeah.
Yeah. Well, the spiritual bypass, I guess that could be Pollyanna.
Mhm.
And yet at the same time, we have to hold to those truth principles. What came through in meditation today, the idea that we are here to love everyone and everything, and to see the love, to see the core, the God in all that is, and to therefore work with those ideas that seem adverse to who and what God is. And so, how do we do that? Well, in Science of Mind, the simple answer is through our principles, through our prayer, through our we believe statements, and through our 10 core concepts. And you're going to hear more about those 10 core concepts because in the next 2 weeks, we're going to be doing 5 of them next week, 5 of them the following week, and we're going to have people who have been in Science of Mind for a while sharing some of their ideas also about these core concepts. They'll be joining David and me for the talk, which we're grateful for because it's always good to hear each other and hear new ideas. We don't have to agree with them, and that's okay. And that is where we will learn to create what our mission statement says, a world that works for everyone. To realize that it's okay to have adversity and to figure out how we're the same, what do we agree on, and how can we grow through that together in love. And love means loving voice, loving actions. It means inclusivity, it means unity. It means everything that our founder, Ernest Holmes, talked about and wrote about his entire life. And all the many people that he got his ideas from, all the great philosophers and scientists and spiritual leaders. So a good question to start with is, for each of us individually, to look at, do we view adversity as an obstacle or as an opportunity? And if you're like me, you're going, oh, a little bit of both. I'll have a little bit of both today. Because as much as I would just love to say, oh, an opportunity, of course, I know that there are those times within me where I see it as an obstacle, and where that little me inside thinks that if only that other person would change and realize what I'm saying is so right, then we'd all be better off. But that other person is a part of me. And so if I can change my viewpoint to see it as an opportunity to grow, an opportunity to expand my own personal spirituality and the life of God that I came here to be, if only I can grow my idea of loving acceptance, we can find the playing field on which we can grow through adversity. So another question would be, does adversity really have a purpose? And we may have different answers for that too. But I would say that if it does have a purpose, and it must, because we see adversity in nature, in God, not just within ourselves, we see it, but we don't see the tree that we see having an adverse situation or experience in life. We don't see or hear it claiming adversity. We see it continuing to just be a tree and live its highest, best life until and if it isn't. And then what do we know? Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. It just recirculates. All of life just changes form. One thing I do believe about human beings is that adversity makes us stronger. I know that the situations throughout my life that I have called the black night of the soul have helped me to be stronger in my willingness and my ability to love in a greater way, to experience peace in a greater way, to accept others just the way they are, because they are not my job. They are their own job. That's why each of us came here to show up individually. My job is to do me, to clean house within my own mind so that my personal belief systems allow me to grow through any idea that I might call adverse in my life. There's a saying, I don't know who said it, but a lot of things broke my heart, but fixed my vision. A lot of things broke my heart, but fixed my vision. When we're walking through a challenging situation, we may feel like they have broken not only our heart, but our spunkiness.
Mm-hmm.
They may have broken, we may feel broken at times. And when we go within and we know that God is not broken, we can remember that we can't be. We are made in the image of that love, that perfection, that wholeness. And we are seeing within our own ideas, within our own beliefs that have come to us through our experiences, we are seeing something broken. And that's our own limited, separatist thinking. There is no separation in God. We see in form, and so it's sometimes a challenge for us to see that I am not my brother's keeper. I am my brother. I am my sister. So there's a story that might be helpful for us, and some of you may have heard it before. It's a story about a young boy who was out for a walk one day, and he noticed a cocoon, and the cocoon had a small gap in it, and he could see that there was a butterfly trying to emerge, but the gap was so small that the butterfly was really struggling. And so he decided that he would help the butterfly out. And he took his pocket knife out and he cut a little bit more of a slit in the gap, just enough so he thought that butterfly could get out more easily. And when he did that, he watched, and yes, the butterfly emerged, but the butterfly did not emerge healthy. The wings did not stretch out and allow the butterfly to fly, which is what butterflies come here to do. And so the boy had not realized that in his effort to enter through that narrow gap of the cocoon, it was necessary for the butterfly to do that, because that was how the butterfly would become strong enough to grow and develop properly. And I would like to suggest that sometimes we, in our own, perhaps even really loving idea, do that to ourselves and to the people that we love the most, the people around us. We think that if we just help them out a little bit more, that they'll be okay. But it's in that adversity, it's in that struggle that we build our strength. And we build our strength in our own way, in our own time, not on someone else's time. There is no time in God. And so each of us gets to look at how we will deal with our adversity in a way that will best establish for us the highest, best good.
So wouldn't it be great if we didn't have to deal with adversity? We can just pop out like chrysalis and be whole and complete and perfect, as we know every week, right? I'm whole and perfect and complete. I am God in human form. If I could just be that and not deal with stuff. But everybody has adversity. Everybody has troubles, challenges. Sometimes I have challenges just getting out of bed in the morning. If I mowed the lawn yesterday, my muscles are going, ooh, let's sleep in a little bit longer. And but I do. I get up and I deal with it. And as I go through my day, little things happen. Hopefully nothing catastrophic, but always things are always happening. We know that our physical body needs exercise to remain healthy. But do we ever really consider how much our spiritual mind needs to exercise as well? Do we do our spiritual consciousness training? Our thought processes as we go through our day? As we bump into challenges, it's not just even so much as difficulty or a challenge to get through something, but an opportunity to challenge myself to think in a different way. And that's doing a consciousness training. I'm doing my spiritual practice of learning how to deal with life in a new way. The Buddha says change is never painful. Only the resistance to change is painful. He was a smart guy, right? Pretty insightful. As long as we're fighting against everything that's happening in our life, we're going to be in chaos. If we have conditioned ourselves to accept whatever comes, we can live painlessly. If we condition ourselves to accept everything that comes our way, we can live painlessly. Challenge ourselves not to fight what is flowing through us in the moment, but to realize we are above and beyond that. So today when you drive home, if you're pulled over for speeding, how are you going to react? Well, this is just life. It's just another thing, another obstacle. And I get home and the IRS is standing at my door. Oh, well, it's just another thing, isn't it? Just another obstacle, just another opportunity for growth. I can go into chaos about this, or I can release the energy and live in the now. If you focus on the hurt, you will continue to suffer. If you focus on the lesson, you will continue to grow. I love that statement. So can you challenge yourself to see each obstacle in life as an opportunity for growth? Whatever life throws at you, can you see it as an opportunity to grow? Sometimes it causes you to make a detour, but sometimes those detours cause great growth opportunities for us. We see something we have never experienced before, and we can see life from a different perspective. So obstacles are opportunities. It is said that new beginnings are often disguised as painful endings. Life doesn't end. Life never ends. Even when we stop this human experience, life does not end. And change is the only constant in life. We're constantly moving through a different experience all the time and every now and moment. And so we should get used to it. We can call it adversity if we want to, or we can call it change if we want to. Just look at it as rich opportunities for growth. Sarah talked about the internet. Deborah said something about social networking today. I actually find a lot of things on social media, and I have found it to be a blessing, actually, and I think it's because I've set it up very carefully. I only accept as friends people who I believe will put out positive information. And if people put out things that I don't like or that I think are very negative and what's the word? Adversarial. Thank you. I am happy to let them go. But I found this one. It says, we waste time and energy waiting for a path to appear, but it never does. Because we forget that paths are made for walking, not waiting. And we forget that there's absolutely nothing about our present circumstances that prevents us from making progress again, one tiny step at a time. Do we expect life to happen to us? Or do we expect life to happen through us? And do we expect to make life the best that it possibly can be by looking at it from a different perspective? And keep moving all the time. Keep moving forward. Ernest Holmes and Troward Curtis Hopkins, and you go down the list of all the great writers in New Thought, and they always talk about the idea that we should constantly be growing and moving forward in life, constantly moving forward, never standing still, never waiting. The path is made for walking, not for waiting. And so we keep moving all the time. And in your journey, there may be times when you feel frustration, you maybe feel lost or confused or angry or unseen or empty or broken, as Deborah said. But don't confuse those times as your forever state of being. They're not your absolute truth of who you are. Maybe in that moment, it's an experience, a situation, a circumstance that you're going through, but it's not a truth of who you are. And it's never a matter of you being broken. You are moving through a instantaneous, in the moment experience. You are breaking away from what was and creating space to welcome what will be, moving into the new possibilities of life. Meister Eckhart said the spiritual path has more to do with subtraction than with addition. How much can you leave behind? How much can you release and let it go? I love that picture of taking my trash out on Monday mornings, and then when the trash truck comes to pick it up, I don't run out and grab it and drag it back to the house. I let it go. Whatever's not working for me, I let it go. If it's not working for you, can you just let it go? Can you just release it? So many little things can really get under our skin and irritate us. I was at the grocery store the other day, and this always seems to happen. It's like the next aisle over, or maybe a couple aisles over, there's that kid that cries constantly. And you wonder, you know, kids learn through childhood about how to get what they want. And I wonder, did that little gurgly cry get them something one time, and so it's because it's really annoying. And there's a screeching little cry that no matter, even if you decide you're going to start all the way on the other side of the store, it carries through the air. It will drive me crazy, like being on an airplane with a kid behind you. But you can release it and let it go. Can I look at that obstacle for my mental health as an opportunity for growth, to be able to experience, to be able to live through anything that is moving through me at the moment, to just plain let it go. It's not working for me, just let it go. Life will only change when you become more committed to your dreams than you are committed to your comfort zone. In those moments, I'm not comfortable, but I realize it's all in my mind. It's all in my mind. Because I'm the one that's holding on to the negative energy. I'm the one that's letting my blood pressure rise. I can release it. I can let it go. Ignore it. After a little while, don't even notice it's there anymore. Ernest Holmes says we must decide either to be as we have been or to start to be what we desire to be. Now is the only time we can ever act. Now is the only time we can move through the adversity and see it as a rich opportunity.
Maybe I'll buy you some earplugs. For those moments. So I haven't done this for a while, and you know I love to do this. I love acronyms. And so I have a great answer to how do we go through adversity. And it's called face off. Face off with adversity. Now I know that face off probably means something negative for many of us, but it doesn't in this case. Face off means faith and caring equal omnipotent freedom forever. So whatever arises in our life, if we face off, if we have faith and caring, faith meaning trusting the divine, trusting and believing and accepting the divine presence in and through all that is, and caring about ourselves and taking good care of ourselves and taking good care of those around us, loving one another. If we have those two things, it equals omnipotent, all-powerful freedom, perfect God as freedom, forever, eternally. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.